I wanted to address three things that people sent me regarding the stuff that me and my godson is going through and the cases that we had. The first thing I wanted to address was when Rymir became my legal child. So that, as some of you already know, you sent me the order. It's online and you'll see it as well. It was effective on June 6, 2011. The hearing was on July 26, 2011. It was filed on June 6th. So June 6th is the effective date. July 26th was the court date, but it always goes back to the effective date. So that's when Rymir became my legal child. Again, there was no paternity asked by his mother after March 2011 in Pennsylvania. Wanda has never asked for any paternity in the state of New Jersey because one, she doesn't have standing and she lives in Pennsylvania. So this is the custody of Rymir. That's the first thing. So he became my legal child. He became able to have all the benefits of the state as it resulted with him being under my auspice in my home. We were under the Uniform Information Support Act, and although that has nothing to do with this particular thing, and actually I did file a support request during that time, but it was sent to the wrong place. And then the court asked me to go back to Philadelphia to get the relinquishing of Rymir's last state that filed something about his paternity and all this other stuff, to send that over to New Jersey, which we did in 2012. Okay, so that's clear. Rymir became my legal guardian. And then the next question people asked was about Robert. And I probably should have did Robert first, because Robert was disestablished and disestablished and deposited on the area of paternity as it relates to Rymir. That was effective April 4th, based on the court order. All of you probably seen that online. I guess it really says 18th, but some of the letters had the 4th. There was an attorney, Calden Kearns. Her name, the attorney name was Attorney Miller. She was the one who actually made sure the testing and everything was in concordance with the law. And also, as I told you before, they used the DTC, which was a court-appointed paternity testing facility. So Mr. Roberts took the test. Of course, you saw this, that the results was 0, and then he was dispositive. This is called dispositive, and it's also called disestablished in the area of paternity. Dispositive means that he will never be considered the father again. He is forever gone, in addition to us getting an order. But the court wrote the order to judge and said what he said based on the past history, the fact that he was a minor when he signed the birth certificate, the fact that he was not in the child's life, so forth and so on. There were different factors that fed into that. The bottom line is, everybody, is that he's not the father, right? And that he has been eliminated as a father. He is an active father. He also, as I stated, was returned a little bit of money that he paid into the child support system. So he is considered forever gone. Now, what they also had us do was to do what they call vacate avoid order. So now not Rymir, but Robert was considered to be vacated or voided out as the father. So then you can go back to the court and take the information and void him out or vacate him so that it's forever gone, and that somebody who can take an order to another state and pretend it's the father. It's not. So when you vacate a void order, you avoid people shopping around the country trying to act like something is, but it's not. So I hope we got that clear. So that's the second thing. So we're going to have all the posted, just take a good look at it, because y'all sent it to me. So I know the stuff is out there because that's a PA thing. The New Jersey case was also out there from the very beginning in 2011, because it was intertwined with the Pennsylvania case. So you have that too. And then the third thing I was going to talk to you about, guys, about was okay, we did the order, was Rymir's mother. Rymir's mother, I think people better be very careful about what they're saying about her and what they're doing. Just putting you on notice. Be careful, because you're not going to mess around. Her family is not going to like some of the stuff, and I'm not going to like it. So don't try to drag her through the mud when you don't even know her. So the one thing I want to talk about with her is somebody sent me an order, and the order had Wanda's name on it from New Jersey. And I want to explain why it was there. Wanda, and like all the other orders in the state of New Jersey, because we knew her to be the mother, the state requires that the mother's name goes on there automatically as a defendant. So we didn't have no choice with that. So her name goes into any action dealing with Rymir as a defendant automatically because she is the mother. We had Sean Carter on there, obviously, as the punitive father at the time. So that was that situation. But the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that what led up to that order was a couple pages or pleadings what Rymir had submitted to the court. Y'all sent me that as well. But if you look at the pleadings of Rymir that was dated for the genetic testing, let's see when it was dated, y'all. I don't have a date on here, but I know that the date is on the first page. But nonetheless, Rymir submitted a 2-page request. It was an inheritance case asking the court for genetic testing as it related to Sean Carter or Jay-Z. As he did that, his name was the only name on the petition. Check it out. His mother's name is not there. Did you get that? Okay. So his mother's name is not there on Rymir's petition for genetic testing. This is what prompted the court to do the next thing. The next thing is that once he put that in with his filing fee, he get what we call a summons. And in the summons, you can see here, look at it real closely. It has a date and time. It looks like it has August 16th at 9 o'clock. Again, do you see Rymir's name at the top? Sure you do. And then you see that his mother's name as a defendant as well as Sean Carter. So that's where his mother is. Her name, Wanda, was not on his original petition request. But when time the court came, the time the court processed the court date, blah, 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 they put her name in there because they know who she is. They knew she was his mother because of me having custody of her and blah, blah, blah. So here we find that her name is placed there by the state. Okay, because the state had her address. She's not a citizen of the state of New Jersey. So why would she be filing a request for petition in New Jersey? That would be a lie, everybody. You're trying to make it look like something it's not. Be careful, right? The last thing is the order that came out of the actual hearing from what you just saw, the summons. And in that, how his mother became a plaintiff is beyond our common imagination. So it's just interesting how his mother's name became a part of the case because they wanted to deny the son. By having the mother on there, it makes it appears that she wants it as well, when that situation obviously wasn't true because she's in Pennsylvania, she's not in New Jersey. So that was a legal move on somebody's part in order to make it appear that the son and the mother was requesting genetic testing. Now, this is not a family court case. This was an inheritance case, which makes it more crazier. An inheritance case, the mother can't ask for nothing. Only the person who is the heir of the person. So when they did that, they made themselves look bad as well. This is not a family court matter. This is an inheritance case that Rymir filed. And you can go back and look at the paper, what he filed, look up the statute. It's not a family court statute. It's an inheritance case. Can be filed in a family court, but is ruled under another law. and the law is inheritance. So the mother being on there makes it look like, one, she wanted genetic testing, she didn't, and second, she can't even be on there legally. So nonetheless, obviously it was denied, because if somebody's starting to switch names around, which happened in Pennsylvania too, as by the way, they switched my names with hers back then, and then her name with her son's. Same playbook. So we had fraud in Pennsylvania, as I told you before, and we had fraud in New Jersey. And the whole point was to try to block us in, in Pennsylvania, so to speak, by taking my name off. I had the child, put the mother name and act like she wanted it in Pennsylvania, and she didn't. And here this child is sick. And this young person, this young adult, I should say, is sick, Wanda. And you're doing all this nasty grieving stuff because you're trying to help her son get some closure. And then when he comes to New Jersey with me, you do the same thing, the same playbook. So the whole point to everybody is, this is the truth. You can go do whatever you want to say. We know that God is going to be with us. We know that God is going to allow us to have favor, and the truth will always prevail.